Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. This is the 20th day of our journey of redeeming the altar of fasting and prayer. And I really want to underscore and undergird what I have been talking about. One of the key functions of the altar of fasting and prayer that I believe that the Lord wants to restore in the body of Christ as preparation for what is to come. In the book of Esther, chapter 4, we see a nation that would be wiped out because of a decree that was made. And it so happens that Esther is at the palace at an opportune time. She receives the message from her uncle Mordecai of the decree to destroy and wipe out the Jews. Her first and immediate response, and no one can blame her, she states the obvious. She states facts. It is factual that if the king did not summon you and you come unauthorized before the king, the punishment is death penalty. Unless, she says, the king raises his scepter and gives you the opportunity to live. In other words, unless the king pardons your act and decides out of his sovereign will to extend life to you. So she states facts and sends that to Mordecai. And Mordecai, being her coach, explains to her, Esther, wake up, smell the coffee. You are no ordinary daughter. You've been placed at the palace for such a time as this. God was privy of the fact that a time would come that a decree of this nature would be made that would inhalate the Jewish nation. And he positioned you strategically at the palace, at the place of authority, where you walk in the corridors of power, where you are or you have access to the king. No one standing between you and the king. And so he tells us, see the way the Lord sees the situation. When she hears the response of Mordecai, Esther is stirred up in her spirit. Her spirit is quickened because a Rhema word was spoken to her. The scales are removed from her eyes and her mind. She is transitioned from a place of carnality to a spiritual place where she now has access and information and knowledge from the throne room of God, and does not see it and perceive the situation any longer from a carnal mind, but now is able to discern the spiritual matter that is manifesting in the natural, because Corinthians tells us that spiritual things are discerned by spiritual people. And as her spirit is quickened, her immediate response is, fast for me. I and my maidservants will do the same. For 3 days, do not eat, do not drink. And I shall go to the king. If I perish, I perish. What am I saying to you? Esther, when she realized the opportunity that was before her, when she understood in the spirit what was happening, and her spirit man was quickened, discernment was quickened, understanding was arose, knowledge was quickened and came alive, wisdom rose up within her, and her immediate response was, let us go to the altar of fasting and prayer. For I know at that altar I will draw strength and I will be empowered as a king and as a priest. And when I go to the king, I shall not go as Esther, but I shall go in my identity as a king and as a priest. Because she knew that she was going to defile a law. She needed favor. She needed dominion. Dominion that was greater than the dominion of the king. She needed power. She needed influence. This reminds me of Isaiah 45, where God talks of King Syria and says, I will disarm kings on your behalf. Catch me tomorrow as I end with this passage. Goodbye for now.